Hi everyone, we are Table 4 from Period 3, a part of a modern world history class, and today we will be presenting the Industrial Revolution.
Before the Industrial Revolution, local farmers struggled throughout the day. They had to carry out tedious tasks such as picking cotton seeds out from the cotton fiber and putting in long hours of labor each day. Farmers were not the only ones who endured difficulties during this time. Farmers, merchants, landowners, etc. faced obstacles when it came to communication. But all of this changed in the 18th and 19th century in the time period known as the Industrial Revolution. So what caused the Industrial Revolution? Well, wealthy landowners saw opportunity in the local farmers' land. They bought their land and forced local farmers to become factory workers. Within the newly bought land, the landowners experimented to find new, more efficient farming methods, which in turn caused greater profit.
But things became drastically different in the Industrial Revolution. More efficient methods of farming were produced. Machinery that helped farming was developed, and farmers became factory workers. Wealthy landowners created these new farming methods that made them even wealthier. After the village farmers were forced to become factory workers, their work environment became a hazard to their health. They worked even longer hours in coal mines, where gas explosions were frequent, smoke filled the air, and fires caused havoc. On the other hand, within enclosures, wealthy landowners invented new farming methods, which greatly increased their wealth. This improved the textile industry and inspired the railroad age. Think of the things you use on a day-to-day basis. Every day, you wear clothes and use the technology that is available to us today. These items would not have been possible without inventors who invented devices that were created during the Industrial Revolution. Many inventions were created or improved upon to increase efficiency in everyday life for laborers, wealthy people, etc., and encouraged other people to continue to invent. These inventions also launched a spark in the minds of future inventors to modernize devices as technology improved. For example, today's textile industry was entirely influenced by two inventions: the spinning jenny by James Hargreaves in 1764 and the cotton gin made by Eli Whitney in 1794. The spinning jenny made producing cloth easier, and the cotton gin made separating the cotton seeds from the cotton fiber less time-consuming. Because of these inventions, cotton became a more profitable crop to use to produce cloth. Productions of cotton went up, which resulted in a large increase in the use of African American slavery. Also, the so-called father of railways, George Stephenson, at age 33, combined the trainways and steam engines to create the first commercially viable locomotive. Again in 1819, he made an 8-mile railway in Sunderland, the first railway to be solely machine-powered. Furthermore, in 1825, Stevens Company opened up the first public railway in the world, which is driven by the successful man himself. Other names such as Carl Benz and Henry Ford have been such a big impact during the Industrial Revolution that they continue to be well-known names today. You may know them as the automobile companies Mercedes-Benz and Ford. They both contributed majorly to the production and creation of automobiles, and their work continues on today. Think about how you communicate with people in the world you live in today. How do your text messages, calls, tweets, Instagram posts, and status updates get sent through. They are sent through the use of telephone lines and networks, which was called the telegraph during the Industrial Revolution. The telegraph was invented by Samuel F.B. Morse in 1836. It sent electrical signals through wires, allowing communication on different sides of the country to occur. The telephone, invented by Alexander Graham Bell in 1876, was an invention that also improved communication through the use of electrical signals sent through wires from the telegraph. These two revolutionized media and personal communication and even influenced all cellular devices today, like the iPhone. Everything you use today was first created or improved upon during the Industrial Revolution. Because farmers and labor workers were being treated horribly, they began to form labor unions. The goal of the labor unions were to improve working conditions and decrease working hours. The labor unions were successful, and the working conditions improved drastically. To keep the workers safe, they removed children from the working environment. Instead, they placed them in schools where the children were encouraged to innovate and create inventions. As the railroad age began, more people moved to the city, causing overpopulation in the cities. More and more jobs were being made. However, some jobs were being replaced by machines. Those who lost their jobs to machines were enraged, and people, such as Ned Ludites, began to destroy machines. All in all, the Industrial Revolution had a very positive effect on the country. Many people's lives improved greatly, and the country became more wealthy, opening up many doors. You may think, but what really does the Industrial Revolution have to do with this phone or computer I'm watching this video on? The Industrial Revolution heavily influenced everything around us. Ideas, technology, methods, everything. Without some inventions like the telegraph created by Samuel Morse and the telephone created by Alexander Graham Bell, we wouldn't have the aid of cellular devices at our fingertips. Easy communication with people around the world also would not have been possible. Thanks to the revolutionizing of inventions from the industrial age, communication has become more efficient and we're able to communicate with people around the world. People of the Industrial Revolution were impacted differently, but in the end, life became better. In the first few stages of the Industrial Revolution, farmers lost their farms because of machinery and factories. But because of factories and machinery, production became more efficient and rates went up. However, some of the factories produced negative effects. Mine workers were in dangerous environments and were at risk for an explosion occurring at any moment. Wealthy landowners needed more workers in their factories, so they put children to work. Imagine these kids having to do the same hard labor as an adult. These were the conditions for these children. Even though conditions for workers were poor, in the end, they earned more money and eventually working conditions did improve. The nation had more money, and with the additional money the workers earned, they created a better life for themselves and supported their families.